So it is a warm night here in Iowa, ready to go racing, and after this the teams and drivers can have a rest because it has been a hectic period in the NTT IndyCar series. It was Simon Pagenaud driving from last to first last night. Who will do it tonight? It's a couple of Penske's up front. Tony Kanaan goes down low, couldn't quite get through on Colton Herta. Alex Palou tucked in there on the low side.
Santino Ferrucci up on the high side, gets a couple cars as Ryan Hunter-Reay looks on the inside of Connor Daly into turn 3.
Ryan Hunter-Reay loves that outside line. I know he was trying to work it there on Connor Daly, but look at the pace that Connor has, pressuring Will Power now into turn 1 as things start to kind of straighten down up front, but up to 3 wide down in the midfield.
Keep this in mind. Very plain and simple. Last night, Joseph Newgarden was angry. He was furious as Pato O'Ward goes right alongside wheel to wheel with his old Indy Lights teammate Colton Herta.
Track seems to be a little bit more rubbered in tonight. We just had a big NASCAR race, so there's a lot more rubber on the track. You would think, James, it would be a little bit more slippery, but these guys are really using the high groove now.
Yeah, I think with the stock cars that ran earlier in the ARCA series, they actually ran a lot up in that second lane, so even though it's not the same rubber, it cleaned off all the dirt. Not a lot of cars have been on track here at Iowa Speedway lately, so that's just going to help get the second groove in earlier and get this race off to a good start.
To finish that point earlier I was making, as these two still go at it, Herta on the low side in the green and white capstone car. Newgarden was just frustrated that it didn't convert to a victory or a better result than what it did last night. So he's leading from the front, and watch him to be a contender and a leader all night. He wants to get a third victory here at Iowa Speedway. Biggest mover so far is Santino Ferrucci, Paul. He's up 8 positions.
Yeah, he was on the outside making moves, so he's got a good car. He didn't run very good in practice today, but had a good car last night. They had another pit stop problem, so if he has a clean night, he could be looking at a good finish.
He's one of the guys that's really going to benefit from this second groove coming in early. We saw last year how much Santino Ferrucci loved running up top, made a lot of bold passes. I had some good races with him myself, and he was very, very confident, very bold on that outside line. And TK behind him, only down 1 spot from the start, but looking already a little better than he did yesterday. I know TK wants to try to finish off his last race here at Iowa strong, was happy with the car after practice. He knows this is a long race. He's just got to settle in here.
Alex Palou on the low side in that pink and black Dale going with Team Go entry right in front of Marcus Ericsson there.
They almost touched as Dixon got a run on his teammate there, so they almost had contact. Ericsson runs it in hard on the outside, but Dixon hanging tough on the inside. We'll see if he can get the run here into turn 3. You got to whistle it in there real quick and keep the throttle down, but Ericsson gets the position back.
Kind of takes a bit of the air off of Scott Dixon's car by coming down to that yellow line. It's going to put a little understeer in Scott's car. He's got to just look at where Marcus wants to place his car, and he's got to place it somewhere different. If Marcus is going low, he's got to try to think about going high, getting that clean air on the front wing, and then get a good run off the corner to set up the pass.
These two guys have been fighting each other for a long time. They raced each other in Indy Lights. Pato O'Ward, Colton Herta, they are still going at it right here. So Pato O'Ward has been working over the back of Colton's car for about 20 laps now, trying to find a way around.
Pato's getting great runs off the corner. He's rolling a little bit more into 3 and 4. You can see him all the way down to 3rd gear. It's almost like driving it like a road course. Up 3 gears, down 3 gears. But again, you're trying to find that clear air. See how his car is a car width higher than Colton's in the middle part of the corner. That gave him the grip he needed to get the good run off. Little bit of a defense move from Colton. He's going to try to hold the outside now. He's going to have a little bit more momentum if he can hold it, but he can't. Pato clears him.
Outside. That was for 6th. Clear. Nice move from the Arrow McLaren SP driver, Pato O'Ward.
Look at the speed of Dixon now that he's got the tires. Don't forget that Santino and Sato just pitted for tires maybe 10 laps ago, and the speed on new tires is just incredible.
So Joseph Newgarden keeps the lead of this race, and it's 1.8 seconds from the Hitachi Chevrolet back to his teammate Will Power, but the man on the move is Pato O'Ward, who is really putting the pressure on Will Power for that 2nd spot. So Team Penske and Arrow McLaren SP. Here's Dixon and Santino Ferrucci on Dixon's outlap, getting up to speed. Sato in the mix there as well, and Scott says, see you boys, I'm off.
Yeah, he was able to use the slower car of Sato. Was a bit of a pick. He boxed in Ferrucci, so he had no momentum to carry and was able to keep that position.
I'll tell you who really made out on those pit stop exchanges. The early stop by Pagenaud has gone from 22nd now up to 8th.
Here we go. Look at this. Pato Award right around the outside of Will Power.
The number 5 crew have done a great job in the pits all year. They've been great in the pits for years, and that is an incredible sequence for them. And for him to just drive around Will Power like that, it shows that this car is absolutely on rails.
He said he had a great car last night. Felt that he could have won the race if the yellow had have fallen at a slightly different time. Will Power gets bottled up with Graham Rahal and his teammate Sato right there. But Pato Award might have a shot at winning this race tonight because he felt like he could have won it last night.
164, please.
Same thing we sort of saw with Scott Dixon and Santino Ferrucci with Takuma Sato playing the pick there, but this time it was Connor Daly and Graham Rahal. Graham Rahal now all over the back of Will Power, not for position. Graham is still a lap down because of how the pit sequence came out.
Running real high. Power was up the track and Graham's even higher. That's a tricky spot to be in right there.
This weekend has been something phenomenal for them, for the captain, for Roger Penske and his team cars, not only here in North America but in Australia as well, running in 8 different races. The 2 IndyCar races here in Iowa, Australian Supercars in Sydney, the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship race in Sebring. Today was Xfinity Series racing in Texas, and there's Tim Cindric, president of Team Penske. His son Austin won that race, and tomorrow is the Cup race in Texas where Ryan Blaney starts on the outside of the front row. What a phenomenal weekend for Penske because they've already had a successful run, won 3 races thus far. Will Power in second for the captain is trying to keep, in third I should say, trying to keep Connor Daly at bay.
Connor Daly's been putting the heat on Will Power for about 10 laps. Will Power's kind of stuck in that middle lane, Kelly, and Connor's been working the low side, and I think he's going to get him on this lap.
The problem is that the car in front, I believe that's Marco Andretti, is running the same line as Connor, so it's taking the air away from Connor, taking the downforce away from that car, giving Will the clean air, so it's making that pass a little more difficult. If we can get some clean air in front of Will, I think Connor's got a great shot at getting around him. It seems like the race pace in the number 59 is a little bit better than it was yesterday. He's keeping touch with the Penske duo stronger than he was this time last night.
Having another look again. He got a good run off the corner there. Dives to the inside.
But again,
squeeze on, keep going, keep going. Halfway up,
holds it tight off the corner and gets the position right now. Will's got the draft, but they're going to drag race into the corner. Connor's got the open lane on the inside, takes the position.
Yeah, that was the key there. Felix kind of staying in that 1.5 lane and giving Connor the room on the bottom. Gave him just enough grip and took that grip away from Will. Now he's cleared Felix Rosenquist, and he's got a car in between himself and Will Power. Daly up to third.
Let's get these next 2, then you've got clean there for half a lap.
Rahal now is the leader. Newgarden is 4 seconds back. Award is right there as well still.
Rahal is one of the last to stops in the last set, so this makes sense. It's going to be interesting to see how these cycle out. The gap between Award and Newgarden was only about 0.8 of a second before that.
Oh, caught the wall.
Oh, no.
That looked like Ed Carpenter brushed the wall.
It is.
Yeah. And it is. He got up high in the gray. There was a whole bunch of cars in front of him. Rahal was up high, and he was up above him and just lost the air, and it slid into the wall. Uh-oh, another pit stop problem on the inside front there for Rosenquist. So a little issue, but it's not probably going to hurt him too much because everybody's slowed down now for that yellow.
Yeah, so Graham Rahal, you know, he's leading this race, and everybody down to 9th is on the lead lap, but Daly, having just pit, had gone a lap down, so Rahal's going to be able to get his pit stop done, still be inside the top 10. Big gainer here is going to be Alex Palou because he had not pit either. He's currently running 5th. He was way down the order. He had dropped something like 16 places in the opening stages of this race. He's going to go only as low as 9th. That's kind of the worst he can do if there's no problems in the pits.
Let's have another look at it here with Ed Carpenter. Look closely, top of your screen, top left.
Graham's up high there, and he's way up high. And he just got in the gray and brushed the wall pretty hard. Broke both the front and rear.
He did such a good job getting it slowed down to not have contact with that inside wall, and he'll be devastated after a rough night last night.
in the mix. It's Joseph Newgarden leading Pato O'Ward, who's 2 cars back in power. Green, let's go.
Top 3 guys are on older tires. Newgarden, O'Ward, Power. The guys on fresh tires right now, Ray Hall, Pagano, Hunter Ray, are really got to make something happen here. Santino Ferrucci on the outside. Wild move right there, gets 2 cars.
They're trying to get their lap back. And the first orange car you see is Oliver Askew as we ride with Alexander Rossi.
Still there outside.
He's in that same situation, racing to try and get back on the lead lap.
Running his teammate hard. They're side by side. They nearly hit right there. Pato O'Ward gave Askew a little bit of a hip check right there. Said, hey man, I'm fighting for a win up here.
One's fighting for the win, one's fighting just to get back on the lead lap.
I mean, Oliver Askew is still just as much in this race as Pato O'Ward is, really, just because of the way the tire strategy's played out. He's trying to get that lap back. We saw him do it at the end of the race last night. We're going to go replay here. On board.
Did they touch?
With Pato. Oliver on the inside. Pato fades down. Ollie fades up.
Yeah.
They did touch.
They hit hard.
There could be some damage to the front wing on the 7 car.
So Pagano and Hunter and Ray Hall have not really rocketed forward on these fresh tires. Askew now is under attack from Alexander Rossi.
This is a much racier Alexander Rossi than we saw last night. Inches apart, guys. 180 miles an hour now heading into turn 1. Oliver loses a little bit on the entry, but he's going to have that extra banking in the second lane to try to roll that momentum up high. He's got a good run off it, too. Alex might have to slip back in line here.
This is a rookie racing an Indianapolis 500 winner. And here comes Graham Rahal in the background.
Rossi still stuck on that bottom lane. He never really ventures up off of that bottom lane. You see him there, he stays up a little bit higher. Rahal even higher as the air gets choked off of him on the exit.
And there'll be a little bit of frustration here for Rahal in the High V Honda because he's running 3rd in the race. These cars in front are a lap down, right around the outside and almost touching the wall. Graham Rahal. Wow.
Strong pass on the outside. You really got to be committed to make that happen and trust the guy in front of you that he's not going to close the door on you.
Team Penske versus Arrow McLaren SP. This was the team known as Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports. And of course, Arrow Electronics now has been a long-time sponsor. McLaren came on board as a partner. First time McLaren's been involved permanently in IndyCar since the late 1970s. And Arrow has been determined to get victory and get this team up the front. They've got 2 young drivers who have done a stellar job so far this year. And maybe, just maybe, they might be in the winner's circle at the end of the 250th lap tonight. Pato O'Ward has to clear his old Indy Lights teammate from Andretti Autosport here, Colton Herter. Otherwise, Joseph Newgarden is going to disappear into the distance. He's already 1.3 seconds away.
He's opened it up a little bit now. O'Ward is stuck behind Colton Herta, who's a lap down. So
I spoke to Robbie Wickens this morning about the great job that both of the drivers did. And he said one of the things that they could do better tonight is work on the tools. So when you heard Pato O'Ward on the radio there saying, I'm trying to stay on top of the understeer with my tools, that's definitely been some coaching from Robbie, from the team. Hey, look, you've got a lot of adjustability here. Let's try to work on that car and keep the understeer at bay.
And the reason why Hinch said that he was talking to Robert Wickens has a role with Arrow McLaren SP as a driver mentor, driver coach. And there is Robbie. And it's been great. He has been a wonderful influence on these 2 young drivers for them to draw from his global motorsports experience.
Big smile under that mask. But the gap now has opened back up to a 1.5 seconds. You can see just up the road there, but there's more traffic for Joseph Newgarden. So Pato O'Ward should be able to close this gap down fairly quick because he's got clean
all clear
air.
Behind, 15 back to Oliver, all clear.
That's what I was saying before, PT. It's all about traffic here at Iowa, how quickly and how efficiently you can get around these lap cars. You saw Pato was able to drive right up to the back of Joseph Newgarden, but once he cleared the lap car of Colton Herta, he just pulled it out, a 1.5 seconds again. So this is going to be the ebb and flow of this lead until the next round of pit stops.
Right on weight.
Comes Santino Ferrucci coming in early. We hear that Pato O'Ward is getting set up right there. There's the 5 board right behind Santino's bit. Regular service here. We'll see if he takes a bunch of wing on the front, Kelly, as O'Ward is going to be coming in this next lap. Here he comes.
Pato O'Ward, who was putting the fight there to Joseph Newgarden. for quite some time, has had a little bit of understeer, but as you saw, it seems to be pretty strong of the long one. You saw the adjustment there on the front wing, but it is a long inside rear. They are yelling about the inside rear tire. They need to tighten the inside rear.
This is disastrous. This is going to cost him 2 to 3 laps or more. But the inside rear tire not tight. A good save by Pato O'Ward not to leave and have it fall off. But this is disastrous.
Let's go.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay in. He was being asked if he wanted some front wing. Said the car is not very good right now. He opted not. They're going to try to stick it out. Kelly?
Alex Palou had a bad push on that car, so they're making a tire pressure adjustment and front wing adjustment. In fact, the team asked him to do 2 extra laps, and at one point he said, guys, I cannot. They said, just hang on to it. But he was really struggling at the end of that stint.
So at the top of the order on pit stop rotation.
No, problem.
Ray.
Left front tire.
He crashed. Same thing as last night.
Did he do the same thing?
Coming out of the pits.
Can you make it back to the pits? Can you drive it back? Yellow's out. Can you drive it back to us?
I don't know if the tire just fell off there or he's hit the wall, but he said he crashed. Last night he was coming out of the pits and lost it, hit the inside wall. Didn't damage the car too bad, but looks like he's done that again. Did the exact same thing as last night.
You can see the mark on the wall behind you where he hit yesterday. That is unbelievable. Here's a replay from last night following his teammate Marco Andretti.
Exactly the same, but he got away with it last night. Tonight, it bent the front suspension, so he hit the wall within 20 yards of each other. So
it's such an uncharacteristic mistake from a veteran like Ryan Hunter-Reay. We've talked about it, a guy who's won here 3 times before. That's a very, very tough blow for the 28 guys. That's going to be an unhappy driver, Paul.
That's going to be an unhappy Michael Andretti as well.
It's been a bit of a tough year for the Andretti Autosport crew. They've had a lot of good results thrown away by different issues, whether it's mechanical and pit lane, and this was another strong result. Ryan Hunter-Reay, the highest qualifying car on the team, not going to be able to deliver and close today, unfortunately.
Okay, pits are open, Marco. Pits are open. We will pit this lap. Pit this lap. 4 tires and fuel.
Cars, and he's being told you're going to pit this time by. So too will race leader on rotation, Oliver Askew. He needs to come in as well, so that will cycle Joseph Newgarden back to the top. And Newgarden has led more than 150 laps in this race.
Pit, pit, pit. Pit lane for
staggering his lap lead count at this racetrack.
Come on down here, look for Brennan. You're going to have a clear in here.
And as you called it, there's Oliver Askew in that orange car coming to pit road. They're going to take a little wing out. The team said, look, you're going to have fresh tires, an awesome race car, and you're an awesome driver, so go out there and get it. You saw the adjustment there on the front wing.
Joseph Newgarden, Will Power, Connor Daly. That's exactly the way they started. That's not the way they are on track here, because there are some lap cars in the midst, but Newgarden has a clear track ahead to make the most of it. And he's got Pato O'Ward, who was chasing him down for the lead for real until that pit stop glitch. He's trying to get his lap back.
Pato O'Ward a lap down, trying to get that lap back, but these guys are all on pretty fresh tires, so that's going to be hard to pull that off, Hinge.
Yeah, off turn 2 there, Will Power actually had a big wash-up. Connor Daly got very close, and here he is again in the draft. He's going to look down to the inside. Power's sort of been preferring that second lane. He goes down to the bottom, takes that air away from Connor, trying to make it as difficult as possible for the Carlin car.
Connor really pitted just at the right time, right before that yellow happened, so he's in a good position here to get a top 3, maybe even a win.
But the best on fuel, as far as the most recent to stop, was the man running 4th in that orange and white Hy-Vee Honda. There it is there, Graham Rahal, who had a sensational second half of the race last night to broach the top 10. He now may have a shot at getting on the podium, maybe a win, as he knocks on the door of 3rd place, Connor Daly.
He's gotten by Santino, but he's got Felix Rosenqvist right there just in front of him. So
still has 2 lap cars in between him and Will. So I think he's still in a, again, he's just in a cruise and collect kind of situation right now. And kind of just quickly going back to Graham, like you said, Paul, he's had a couple really good races and good results taken away from him. The irony here is he rolled off the trailer by far the worst he has all season, and it's going to translate to the best finish that they've had.
Well, a little loose right there for Will Power, so he's got to be careful it doesn't get away from him. As Newgarden gets by Felix Rosenqvist, this gap right here has kind of stayed about the same. Graham Rahal not able to close the gap close enough to mount an attack here with 3 to go.
A little further back, I want to give praise to young rookie Oliver Askew of Jupiter, Florida. Last night scored his first podium. Here we go on board the Mission Foods onboard camera. Love this shot. Askew got 3rd last night. He is poised to get 6th tonight. That is an incredible weekend for your first time at a short track in an IndyCar as a rookie. Well done. Hearing a little further back that Marcus Ericsson did get Tony Kanaan for 9th place. But coming around to get the white flag, Joseph Newgarden. He is right at home at the world's fastest short track. He loves this place and just performs so well here. He is lining up half a lap away from his 3rd win, and he's going to break a very long trend. A pole sitter has never won here at Iowa. Joseph Newgarden changes that now and gets his first win of 2020. Newgarden wins Iowa.
Total domination tonight. That was obviously a clinic tonight. So he came in super motivated, frustrated from last night that it came away from him. But these guys, Penske, what a night.
To come out here and win this one from pole, after the way things transpired last night, how good does this one feel?
Feels really good. Feels really good. You know, I don't know what we got to do to keep the bad luck off of us, but hopefully this is the start. You know, our guys did an amazing job yesterday. I was so disappointed for them. I was angry for them because I felt like they had the winning car. They'd put in the work, and we just weren't able to get rewarded for it. So I was so determined to come back today. I think everyone was determined to come back and have a really good race. And we just ran hard. We ran hard all day. So proud to be powered by Chevrolet. I felt like we had the package to beat: fuel mileage, durability. We had the power. And then to have Hitachi back on, I think they've been a good luck charm for us. So thank you, Hitachi. Thanks to everybody at Team Penske back at the shop. I'm just thrilled we were finally to get this monkey off our back.
Joseph, you're the first driver here at Iowa to start on pole and end up in victory lane. You sure made it look easy. Was it as easy as
I heard that stat, and you know, I don't think I'd been on pole here before. So I was sitting there thinking, you know, we can do that. I don't know why we can't convert from pole. It's just kind of a silly stat, I guess. That's kind of run through to this point. So I knew we had the speed. I felt totally confident. You know, when Tim's on my stand and I have my guys doing pit stops, I have complete confidence we can win any race that we go into. So that stat wasn't bugging me.
It's been a minute since you've been in victory lane. What can this do for you propelling this team forward as the season progresses?
Well, we needed to. You know, I mean, it would have been nice if we could have had a couple of the finishes where we thought we should have been. You know, I think Road America, we had a winning car on Saturday. Wasn't able to secure that. You know, we had a podium slip away at the GP. But yeah, I mean, I knew we needed a win, and we need another one to come soon enough too. It's not going to be just one. We got to be able to put consistent finishes on the board.
Watch the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio, Sunday, August 9th at 1:30 p.m. on NBCSN.